Hi and welcome to another one of my videos. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Dr. Qureshi, aka the Mind Doc, and this video may just change your life. I hope. So depression, sadness and happiness, however you want to describe it, they're at record levels and people are neck deep, submerged even, in stresses in their day-to-day life. You may argue that it's impossible to feel happiness with all of the hardships that you're faced with, but I'm here to tell you that happiness comes from within and you can feel happy. And here are my top 7 top 7 tips on how to feel happier. If that sounds interesting, let's get cracking with it. So the first tip I'm going to give you is something that the successful people in the world tend to do. And I'm not necessarily saying success equates to happiness, but doing this can cause you to feel happier as well. And that is to have a structured daily routine. Generally, people don't like setting routines because they feel it's a checklist of what you must do during the course of the day, and it feels quite intrinsically mundane and repetitive. It doesn't need to be a restraint on your life. It doesn't need to be a prison. You can include things in your routine that you actually enjoy and that you find relaxing. And another one of the rules with the routine is that you want to have a productive day. And so you'll aim for a routine that gets you feeling slightly better than the day before, whether that be 1% better or even 0.5% better. But you want to be moving in the right direction with the right trajectory. And being regular in your routine provides you with consistency, and that gives you the order amidst the chaos of life. The second point that is invaluable for feeling happier is the importance of physical exercise. If you get yourself into shape, you feel better in your body, you can move around more easily, your breathing improves, you feel more energetic, your sleep gets better. Also, exercise releases something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is important in neurogenesis and neuroplasticity, which essentially improves the functioning and the development of the brain. Also, your brain is a very metabolically demanding organ, which means a high proportion of your blood supply goes to your brain, and regular exercise can improve that blood supply, thus improving your overall functioning. And actually, exercise is one of the few preventative strategies against developing dementia. The third tip is to spend less time on social media. Social media can literally ruin your life, and I've seen this happen. So first of all, you sit down for 5 minutes on social media, and you're scrolling through all the posts and articles, and you comment on a few things here and there, and then there's a link to a video, you click on the video, then there's a whole host of suggested videos, and before you know it, bang, 2 hours have gone. Don't tell me you've never done that. But that time's gone, it can't be reversed, and you feel horrible, dejected, worthless, and it's really a downward spiral. Also, there can be a lot of hateful and hurtful comments on social media, a lot of negativity, and that breeds anger and resentment within you, even if you don't realize it. Also, inevitably what happens is you start comparing yourself to other people, and that can cause you to become very unhappy, very bitter, and you stop acknowledging the positive things in your life. But you have to remember, people are posting a very idealistic and utopian snapshot into their world, and it's not a true reflection of their life. And by comparing yourself to them, you're actually doing a disservice to yourself, because it's not very effective to compare yourself to others because you don't know about their personality, you don't know what struggles they've got in their life, you don't know what they've had to overcome, you don't know their past. But it's much more effective to actually compare yourself to you of yesterday rather than other people. The next tip I'm going to give you is to surround yourself with positive people who listen to you. We've all come across negative people that end up making you feel worse and sucking the life and energy out of you. But you shouldn't surround yourself with those people because you're actually devaluing yourself and you're devaluing what you have to say. Rather, you should spend time around people that actually care for you and want the best for you. In clinical practice, I've come across people that want to effect a positive change in their lives. For example, they want to give up smoking or give up drinking alcohol. So a so-called friend will come along and they'll tempt the individual into just having one drink or one cigarette. They'll say there's no harm in just one. And actually, these people want you to fail because they're bitter and resentful and malevolent. And they tempt the individual into failure. So if you've got someone in your life like that, it's much better to steer clear of them. Tip number 5 is to become reflective, identify thought patterns, and challenge your negative thoughts. So for simplicity's sake, you've got 2 thinking parts of your brain. You've got the emotionally thinking part of the brain, which is your limbic system, and you've got your more rational and logical thinking part of your brain, which is your prefrontal cortex. Unfortunately for us, the emotional thinking part of the brain, which can make us feel sad and bitter and angry and jealous, is 4 to 5 times stronger than the rational thinking part of our brain. But thankfully, we've already got the inbuilt machinery to try and challenge those negative thoughts, and that machinery is our mind. So what we advise people to do is write down their thoughts or journal, and what this does is it provides clarity to their thinking. If you think about a horror movie, for example, often there isn't anything particularly terrifying that happens in it, but often it's just the fear of the unknown and your imagination running wild with you. So similarly, if you write your thoughts and stresses down, it makes it more precise and it makes it more real, and consequently you are in a better place to challenge these thoughts and to look for solutions. So for example, if somebody makes a negative comment towards you and says that you're a bad parent, or say that your child does something wrong and you feel like a bad parent, then often your thoughts can run away with you and you start believing it. But actually, if you write things down, then you can start challenging those negative thoughts, for example, by listing qualities that your child possesses, and then you can tell yourself that you've helped to inculcate that into them. You've given them the requisite values for them to become the person that they have. You've provided them with sustenance, with food, with shelter, and so on and so forth. And so you can challenge those negative thoughts. The next tip is to set yourself goals so that you can reach your potential. I think often people don't want to set goals because they don't want to specify conditions for failure, but actually we need that direction in our lives. We need to have a destination in mind. So set yourself goals that are realistic and take incremental steps towards it. So for example, if you're unemployed, you need to set yourself a goal of working, and then what you need to do for that is you need to sit down, you need to try and establish what area you want to go into, then you need to possibly do some volunteering work to bolster your CV, you might need to get some additional qualifications, so you need to work out a pathway to that. So you need to set yourself that goal, and then you can work your way towards it. If you don't set that goal, then you're just an aimless creature. The seventh and final tip is to strive for more than happiness. It's all well and good feeling happy, but happiness, like sadness, is an emotion which comes and goes. But it's much more effective in the long run to look for something deeper than happiness. More than happiness, what people should be aiming towards is a sense of fulfillment or contentment or inner peace. So it's not a transient emotion, it's more a permanent inner sense of being that you're striving towards. So let me give you a scenario that better explains this. So say a father passes away and there are 3 children. So one of the children is beside themselves, very emotional, very tearful, inconsolable. Another child is very angry and resentful. And the third child may be very content and accepting of what's happened. They may be smiling, recollecting stories about their father. So the third child will naturally be feeling upset with what's happened, but they have that inner sense of contentment that, for example, they did what they could for their father when they were alive. They will instill the values that they've learnt from their father in their own children, that the father is no longer suffering. So these are different ways of looking at the situation that can give you a sense of contentment. So you've got exactly the same situation, but 3 very different reactions to what's happened. The logical conclusion from that is that it's not an event or a situation that makes you feel depressed or unhappy. It's your way of thinking about it. In my opinion, that inner sense of fulfillment is very closely intertwined with a sense of responsibility. And the way I look at it is that responsibility is linked to helping others, either directly or indirectly, whether it be serving your parents, or raising good children, or sharing knowledge, or being a force for positive change in the world, or fulfilling your full potential. So that inner sense of fulfillment is what we should be seeking to better manage the vicissitudes of the world. If you enjoyed the video, please like, please subscribe, please share with others. Until next time.